This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is February 22nd, Thursday. We've got a couple of things to talk about. We've been relatively quiet recently, so we've actually got a couple of things to look at today, so we're going to do that. So highlights, we're going to talk about windy today through this early afternoon, mid-afternoon. Rain chances this evening and tonight. We could see an isolated stronger storm or two, and that's mostly going to be across northern portions of the state of Mississippi and portions of eastern Arkansas, Highway 82 corridor. After that moves through tonight, we'll have a brief cool down, and then we'll be bouncing back pretty quickly over the weekend and into next week. And that's going to set the stage for the possibility for maybe a little more potent system than what we'll deal with tonight as we head in the middle of next week, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. So the severe risk today, that's this evening into tonight, that's 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. approximately. A few clusters of thunderstorms, briefly strong to marginally severe. We're really thinking these are primarily going to be windy storms, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, get down a few trees in the area for the primary risk. Can't rule out some small hail, but I'm not expecting anything more substantial than that. And of course, that's going to be confined to that Highway 82 corridor. The wind gusts today, a little bit more widespread. You guys have probably already noticed this as we're approaching late morning. Just a little bit ago, had wind gusts over 25 knots here in Jackson, Mississippi metro area. Expecting wind gusts could be as high as 40 miles per hour from about the I-20 corridor northward. And if you're down there in southern Mississippi, it could still be gusty, 25, 35 miles per hour. After the sun goes down, we'll see those diminish pretty quickly, and there's going to be generally southerly winds. So today, with that light rain shower chance creep into the north part of the area as we head into late this afternoon, but it's really tonight when we're going to see the rain chances really increase and introduce some thunderstorms. Now, you could have some thunderstorms even further south than we have illustrated there, but they are going to see more rain than thunder. If you're up near the Golden Triangle or again the Highway 82 corridor, you could see a little more pep in those storms, so just be aware of that. Tomorrow we clear out pretty quickly, but you'll notice temperatures a little bit on the cooler side, but not cold, and certainly not cold by January standards. Highs around 70 for most, but we could see upper 60s and middle 60s in the north, where it's going to be a little bit cooler. So as we're heading into next week, I think this is what everybody's really probably starting to talk about at this point, and we wanted to get ahead of it. There's a lot of uncertainty. You can see that this is the frontal positions expected for the middle of next week, and that cold front really stretching all the way from the Great Lakes and then back around, kind of stalls out across Texas and then runs up all the way even towards the Rockies. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's also a big dome of high pressure that's nosing in across Florida. You see those lines there, those pressure lines that are running northward and across Florida in the southeast. So those are sort of interacting with each other, and the high pressure is not wanting to give way too much, and the low pressure is moving away. So we're kind of in that middle ground area of just how close does it get? Does it make it all the way through the area? Right now, we think it will push a pretty noticeable front, and when we have temperatures that are warm and dew points, moisture that is pretty high, especially as we're heading into the very end of February and early March, we're starting to get into our more prototypical severe weather season. We think that that's going to be something we have to be aware of. So this is something we're following closely, and we're going to be making adjustments on, daily with where this risk may be. Right now, this is sort of the outlooked area. Use this with a bit of a grain of salt because the peripheries, it looks like it's just north of Laurel. We have to draw the edge somewhere, and if you can kind of mentally smooth it out a little bit, that's probably a better guess. We do think that the best chance, like you saw that image before, that low pressure area is moving northeast and away. So generally areas that are closer to that low may see stronger storms. So we think the northern half of the area, maybe a little more, northern 2/3, maybe the highest risk at this moment. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if areas like Natchez, Laurel, Hattiesburg see some risk as we head towards Wednesday. But most likely we are going to continue to be able to highlight the northern 2/3 of the area as being a little bit higher risk. So even while, again, just to say one more time, even while Natchez, Laurel, Hattiesburg, areas south of, say, Hazelhurst and and the southern portions of the Mississippi. While you guys are technically not in the outlook area right now, don't be surprised if you are. This is just the highest confidence zone, and that's going to be on Wednesday. And then as we get a little more confidence, we'll be adjusting this pretty much every day until we get there. So this is the days 1 through 3 precipitation, which is basically the only really rain chance we have in this short-term period is going to be overnight tonight. And you can see it's not a whole lot. It's mostly confined to where we think those storms may be in the northern portions of the area. Some of our guidance right now even suggesting the portions of Southwest Mississippi may get away without even any rain at all. And we still could use some soaking rain. So most of this is beneficial. As we still a little bit drier than normal for the running year, but it doesn't really look like there's any flood potential with this. We're just going to see most areas under ½ an inch and maybe a couple of areas a little bit higher. For the second event, you can see how the WPC Weather Prediction Center, they've sort of drawn this forecast graphic for precipitation. This is for the event that will be Wednesday into Thursday. And you see again those higher numbers in the north, like we talked about before, where the higher confidence is. And this again will also change as we get closer. But generally speaking, right now you can see that neither of these events look to be prolific in terms of flooding potential. Mostly going to be that severe weather risk so far. So in summary, again, windy today, rain chances this evening and tonight. Isolated stronger storm or two, mostly in the north. A brief cool down. This is a cold front, but like you saw earlier, tomorrow's temperatures aren't particularly cold by any means, but we will see a little bit of a cool down. Temperatures tomorrow night probably falling down to the 40s, but then we will rebound pretty quickly. And by the middle of next week, we're going to be looking at a strong, severe weather event. So if anyone has any questions, we can absolutely